Johnny,
Yes, Daz.
could you give me one tip or piece of advice for competition flying, please?
Well, for starters, I'd just like to say thanks for having me on the show.
You're welcome.
Yeah,
You're
no,
welcome.
I've always wanted to make the YouTube of Darren Brown, so thanks, guys.
You've made it. You've made it.
Feels special right there. One tip for competition. I guess it depends on the competition, the calibre of the pilots. Here at the Pre-World Championships in Algiers, Spain, lots of good pilots. It's day one, challenging task. My advice to a great successful comp is always be a goal on the first day. No matter how long it takes you, if you miss the first day, your comp's out. So stay high, get the goal, and you can take the chances you need to take later in the competition to beat the other pilots.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. Cheers, Johnny. That's great. So, Primoz, can you give me one piece of advice for doing better in competitions?
Yeah, few things come to my mind. First is be sure that you have safe equipment, and take care that you have equipment where you feel confident with. This is very, very important because it will influence your decision making. If you are confident, you will make confident decisions. And ask questions to the people who did better on that day.
That's excellent. Thank you very much. So, Karina, could you give me just one piece of advice or one tip for competition flying, please?
Yes, never take it too seriously and always keep enjoying it to the maximum, because it's special that we can fly and can be in the air. And like yesterday, I was racing fast, kind of behind Primoz, almost coming in with him, and then got really low and had to dig myself out. But I got an extra 45 minutes in the air, and as soon as I accepted that and realized how beautiful it is that I can still get more airtime than the others, I loved it. And then it started working and the birds joined me and I had a great day nevertheless. So very often on course, when you are stressed and the others are further or higher or whatnot, just let go and enjoy this miracle of flying. That would be my tip.
I think that is great advice. Thank you very much.
For me, to be in good shape with your material, with your harness, with your glider, is the most important. If you are confident under your glider, if you know that your harness is working, if you feel well into your harness, you start with a good feeling and with something that you know. You know that you know your glider, you know your harness, you know your instruments, you know all your stuff, and then you can really focus on your flight, on your strategy, and not on your material and your gear.
That's brilliant. Thank you very much.
So one thing I've learned as a novice competition pilot is that it's not necessarily bad to follow the lead gaggle rather than be in the lead gaggle. In fact, even this is my 12th competition, I'm still relatively new, but I prefer to not be in that lead gaggle. You can learn so much information for letting them go out first. If you're at the bottom of the gaggle and then you see them starting to peel off the top, take 3 more turns, get up to 5. If you've got somebody in there, ask what elevation they're leaving. And if you can get close to that, now when they spread, they're going to all spread out. Now you have all the information that they maybe don't even have. So if one side of the gaggle starts getting higher, then you adjust your course over there. And even if they're way out, eventually, sometimes they're spread out so much and the far right-hand side starts climbing, it's just as long for the people on the left to get to that person and you can take the hypotenuse of that, and they're taking a leg of the triangle. So it's not a bad thing. Don't feel panicked that you're missing out on leaving with that lead gaggle. You're actually in a really good spot.
Yeah, I think that's great advice. Thank you. You say you're novice to competitions. However, what world record do you hold?
Oh, you don't want to No. I happen to have the out and return world record at the moment, so
So you know a little bit about flying cross country.
maybe a little bit, just less about competitions.
That's great, thank
Hope
you.
that
Lynn.
advice helps.
That's brilliant, thank you. Okay.
You are already.
I'm already.
So you're. No.
No, I will.
These are terrible people. You can't trust them. And you should put it into the interview, okay?
Okay. So, Sasha, could you give me one as the current world women's hang gliding champion? Can you give me one tip for competition flying, please?
Well, you said you want the tip for people who are mostly like only coming into the competition. Because there would be many tips, and I would say when you start doing competition, concentrate on just trying to come to goal. Don't concentrate on your speed, who you want to beat, whatever your ambitions are. It's just the most important thing is to be consistent in coming into goal.
Super, thank you very much. So, Akira,
Hi.
can you give me one piece of advice for flying in competitions, please?
Okay. So breathe by yourself.
Breathe by yourself.
Believe.
Or believe in yourself. Yes.
Believe in yourself. Yes. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Akira. No, thank you.
No.
So, just one competition tip, please, Grant.
I would say, based on yesterday's results for me, when you make a decision, if you're leading a pack or you're higher, whatever it is, you stick to the decision. Because if you start changing your mind based on what other pilots are doing, then you'll be slower. So you make a decision, you choose your route and your plan, you stick to your plan, and that should keep you fast.
Brilliant.
And the other tip would be don't stand on the edge of really tall cliffs.
Yeah, because down here we've got the undercut, haven't we?
Exactly, and I'm a bit scared of that.
Brilliant. Thank you, Grant. Appreciate that. Whenever you're ready, just one piece of advice, please, on competition flying.
Know who you're flying with. Study the other pilots in the comps and their gliders, even if you have to write down their colours, just so you know you're not following a turkey, and you know who you're following and who's making good decisions on a good day, and you know who are the racers and who are the get there pilots, and know your opposition.
That's great. Thanks, Steve. Appreciate that. That's a really good.
Yeah, so only one tip is difficult, but patience, it seems to be the name of the game of this, and it's my biggest weakness is being patient, especially in the beginning of the task. The gaggle is so slow in the beginning of the task, and I always fly out. And that's my biggest weakness, and that's why I would add it as the biggest tip. Although I really don't want other people to get into this mindset of being slow in the gaggle, because we all have to keep together.
Yeah.
So I don't want to send this as a tip to everyone, but I think it is the best tip.
But this is for people who are starting competitions. So
Yeah.
So in other words, stay with the gaggle and don't push on ahead of the gaggle.
Okay, if you're really starting, I would say what I did in the past was always fly out in front. But those were times when often the fast people took the second start gate. So back then I would take this first start gate, make sure I did some work by myself and learned from that, and then hope to fly along with the leading gaggle as they passed me. But that's not working anymore. People nowadays often take the first start. So yeah, but I also think you can be patient in the gaggle, and especially in the first part of the task, and spread out and look what the air is doing across the people that are flying along. I would not suggest that you just be patient and fly just behind other people. Try to cooperate from the start, because I think you'll learn a lot by just learning how your glider feels when it's on the edge of a lift line or when you're approaching thermals. If you're just following and not trying to sense yourself, I think that's something that you're not going to learn a lot from. Yeah.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. Really appreciate that.
My pleasure.
Thank you.
So here we are at Agia,
we're doing the pre-world competition, and I'm on a big tour, having a great time in Europe, and yeah, being asked for a tip for people coming into competition flying. And coming into competition flying, I had this dream when I started flying that I'd be able to just make my way through the sky and just be able to see the sky and make the most of the day, to be able to make my way efficiently through the sky in the way that I wanted to. And this dream of being able to fly cross country is something that I've always had, and for this reason I hung out with good people, and I started to do competitions, because the skill level was so different between what the club level pilots had and these competition pilots, and there's these sky guides amongst them. So for people starting out, you'll watch these videos from this guy called Darren Brown, and you see these legends. And one of the really nice things, like, I watch these videos from this guy Darren Brown, and he's teaching me all these things about what happens in a year, what it looks like, what works, track log analysis, and these legends that you've seen in these talks, including the legend Darren Brown, they're real people. He's actually behind the camera laughing right now. It's a real guy who's a real human. These sky gods are my friends, and I talk to them all the time. It's good. So my tip is to talk to them. And when we look at who's been talking in these videos, like if we start with Gordon is a legend, and I'm really grateful for Gordon. I go and talk to Gordon and I ask him questions, and he's full of all of this advice and experience that I don't have. If I want to learn how to fly a sight, I just go and ask Gordon, and he tells me how the weather works and how the terrain works in this wind, where the areas of stability are, the fastest routes, what happens in different weather, tactics, and even some uninvited post-flight analysis and stuff. He's full of some really, really good tips. And now our relationship is, I can just go and stand next to Gordon and good information flows without a question. And it's really welcome. Thank you, Gordon. You've been awesome. Talk to people. I'm grateful for the friends that I have here, the friends I have in our flying community, and they're quite supportive, and they love flying like you do. And now I'm at the stage where I can go about seeing the sky and making my way through the sky in that way that I had dreamed of, and to do it efficiently and confidently, and to enjoy the processes of learning.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, Scott. I really appreciate that. That was excellent. Cheers. That's great.